Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're taking a look at 7 of the worst new motorcycles that riders end up wishing they never bought. So let's get into it. Number 7. Honda Shadow Phantom. The Honda Shadow Phantom puts out that tough, rebellious vibe, but once you're actually riding it, it's like being trapped behind a minivan in rush hour traffic. It has the blacked-out styling, the low seat, and just enough attitude to make you believe that $8,000 gets you something bold. But once you're in the saddle, reality hits harder than a DMV wait line. That 745cc SV twin engine, it's about as thrilling as a lukewarm decaf. It'll do for short city spins, but the moment you try to merge onto a freeway, you'll be wishing you chose literally anything with more power. It's not only slow, it's the kind of slow that makes you double-check whether the parking brake is still on. Comfort? Think of a park bench on 2 wheels. The rear suspension is so stiff you'll feel every neglected pothole in your city, and while the low seat might sound nice, it ruins cornering clearance. You'll be scraping pegs before the fun even begins. Tech-wise, don't count on much. No traction control, no ride modes, and some versions don't even give you standard ABS. For almost $9 grand, you're essentially buying a speedometer and a side order of buyer's regret, and resale drops quicker than your excitement after week 1. Bottom line, the Shadow Phantom has the looks but brings zero substance. You're paying premium dollars for style, and the ride ends up being a total Number 6. Harley-Davidson Nightster. The Harley-Davidson Nightster claims to capture Harley's soul in a stripped-down modern package, yet somehow drops the ball on nearly everything. With a starting price just north of $13,000, it seems reasonable until you realize what's missing. On paper, the 975cc Revolution Max engine sounds exciting, but in reality, the ride feels more forgettable than fierce. It doesn't offer the punch or presence Harley riders expect. Instead of a roaring cruiser, you get a 2-wheeled identity crisis. The build quality feels more plasticky than premium, and for a brand known for solid steel, the Nightster feels like a budget shortcut. The suspension is stiff enough to rattle your fillings, and the ergonomics are downright confused. It's as if Harley couldn't decide between a laid-back cruiser and a sporty cafe posture, so they awkwardly chose both. And it shows. The worst part? After taxes, dealer fees, and the basic upgrades you'll need just to make it livable, you're close to $16,000 in. At that point, a used Fat Bob with real character sounds like a smarter buy. Bottom line, the Nightster is what happens when tradition meets trend, and misses. Ride it long enough, and you'll discover it's not the Harley you brag about. It's the one you quietly trade away. Number 5. Kawasaki Eliminator. The Kawasaki Eliminator appears like it should be a blast, but instead feels like something you'd scroll past in a Craigslist ad with must-sell slapped on it. Sitting just under $7,000, it's marketed as a modern, sleek cruiser, but what you actually wind up with feels like a strange blend of beginner bike and midlife crisis. Yes, it's light and low, but once you push beyond 55 miles per hour, that 451cc parallel twin starts to sound like it's begging for mercy. Twist the throttle and you'll quickly discover this isn't a muscle cruiser. It's more like a gym membership you never end up using. Comfort? The seat feels like Kawasaki took inspiration from a cafeteria tray, and after 45 minutes your back will start filing complaints. The rear shocks don't do you any favors either, especially if you're over 160 pounds or live somewhere with crater-style roads. Despite the edgy urban attitude, there's not even a gear indicator, leaving you guessing your way through the ride like a lost tourist. Fuel economy isn't awful, but the tiny 3.7-gallon tank means frequent gas stops. Pretty disappointing for something marketed as a commuter. And resale hangs around the used market longer than an awkward dating profile. In short, the Eliminator tries hard to look cool, but feels like a cover band performing someone else's hit. If it's on your list, maybe eliminate it first. Number 4. BMW R18. The BMW R18 is a massive attention-grabbing cruiser that ends up drawing the wrong kind of attention once you actually own it. Starting around $16,000 and easily jumping past 20 grand with just a few add-ons, this bike turns into a pricey garage decoration for plenty of buyers. Sure, the R18 oozes retro appeal and German engineering on paper, but in real use, it's a bulky, awkward attempt to take on Harley that ends up tripping over its own boots. That 1,800cc boxer twin brings huge torque, but in city situations it feels like too much engine with not enough finesse. At nearly 800 pounds, parking lot maneuvers feel like a strongman competition. Maintenance is classic BMW. Oil changes, parts, and valve work all cost a premium. Drop it once, which many new owners admit to, and you're staring at a repair bill that makes you rethink your life choices. And resale value falls faster than day-old guacamole. Bottom line, the R18 looks like a dream in a showroom but turns into a regretful blind date the moment you actually ride it. Expensive, unwieldy, and a nightmare to resell. Number 3. Triumph Rocket 3. The Triumph Rocket 3 is a rolling contradiction, a motorcycle designed to impress while simultaneously overwhelming its rider. With a starting price around $24,000, it's one of the most expensive ways to announce I bought way too much motorcycle. Yes, it carries a ridiculous 2,500 ccs engine, the biggest on any production bike, but that's like using a chainsaw to slice a birthday cake. Weighing close to 700 pounds, every ride feels like a workout session. Taking corners or slipping through traffic will have you sweating through your jacket. Power? No question it's there. Comfort? Not so much. The stiff rear suspension might look cool, but when American highways hand you potholes the size of compact cars, your spine won't be celebrating. Fuel economy is laughable, around 30 mpg if you baby it, and nobody buys a Rocket 3 to take it easy. Repairs and insurance aren't gentle on the wallet either. Triumph parts are far from common, and if you drop it, easier than you'd think, expect a painful repair bill. In the end, the Rocket 3 becomes a display piece trapped in a heavyweight frame. It's proof that bigger doesn't always mean better, especially when chiropractor appointments come included. Number 2. Harley-Davidson Road Glide. The Harley-Davidson Road Glide is a $25,000 fusion of wind tunnel styling and post-purchase disappointment. On paper, it looks like the ultimate touring machine. Big V-twin, frame-mounted fairing, and that unmistakable Harley swagger. But once you sign the paperwork, the fantasy starts to fall apart. At nearly 900 pounds, it rides like a hungover sofa. Low-speed maneuvering feels like leg day at the gym, and parking it is basically boat docking on asphalt. The infotainment system, advertised as high-tech, behaves like it was designed by someone who's never owned a smartphone. Glitches, lag, and dropped Bluetooth connections turn long trips into long sighs. The Milwaukee 8 engine throws off enough heat to toast your legs by mile 10. And despite the price, the suspension doesn't smooth out much. It treats every pothole like a wake-up punch. Fuel economy? You'll be on a first-name basis with your gas station. And that exhaust? Loud but more public disturbance than cool rumble. Resale value slides fast. The Road Glide isn't a terrible motorcycle, but it's a brutally expensive reminder that you should have taken more test rides before buying. Number 1. Indian Chief. The Indian Chief is the perfect example of all show and no go. It looks like a $17,000 chunk of American motorcycling tradition, but ride it for a week and you'll see where the cash really went. Shiny chrome instead of performance. Its 111 CI engine and classic cruiser posture sound great in theory, but on the road it handles like a barge on pavement. Nearly 700 pounds, and it leans into turns with all the enthusiasm of a retired buffalo. When it comes to features, it feels stuck in 2009. No ride modes, no advanced safety systems, and a digital display that makes a flip phone seem futuristic. Ride quality? It's as if the suspension was tuned by someone who believes suffering builds character. Highways turn into chiropractor appointments, and city rides feel like punishment. And don't forget the heat. This thing cooks your thighs like it's prepping for a barbecue. Service is another headache. Indian's dealer network is thin unless you live near a big city, and parts are pricey and slow to arrive. Resale value falls like a rock. The Indian Chief is gorgeous sitting in your driveway, but once you're on the road, it becomes a regret machine dressed in chrome. And that wraps up today's video. If you liked it, be sure to hit like and subscribe for more brutally honest